Yes. Yes, it's a heartbeat that you're listening to. And it's not just any heartbeat. It's the person that you're probably listening the least into your business. Do you guess who I'm talking about? A corporation is a person, is a legal entity by itself. And I'm very, very convinced that this person, that this living organism has a heart. And I'll even go further. I'm convinced that it has a soul. And this soul has chosen you, the leaders of the business, to execute its mission, to concretize it here on the earth. That can seem bizarre, especially given my financial background as an investor. Yet, but as investors, do you know what we first focus on? We first focus on the individuals that are going to perform the business, that are going to write the story. But I'm gonna let you know how I came to do that. What the hell am I saying now that was not applied to business before? I'm going to tell you my story. It's a story of hands, my hands, of burning hands. You remember, right after COVID, when everyone was finally getting back to work, or even though they were now questioning the meaning of this work. Well, for me, all the business assignments, even those that were a perfect fit, just slipped through my fingers, like a desert when economy was coming back. After a few unsuccessful attempts, I just stepped back. And that's exactly when it appeared, when I had this sensation of burning hands. I had the feeling of fire here. And this heat was a revelation. A revelation that I couldn't keep myself divided. Divided as being on one side, an energy healer to my friends, and my family, and on the other side, a successful financial director, an investor for my client. I had to combine both. Yes, a business, a corporation, is a living organism, and I know very well this person. Yes, my task was that. I was going to heal corporations. Wow, my hands burnt even more. I had found the right path. That's what I was going to do, to connect to the soul of the businesses and to align their mission to the mission of their leaders, to the persons, physical persons who were going to execute it. Thank you. That's how I developed this methodology, soul, like the soul. And that's what I'm going to go and drive you there. How do you do it? Because yes, we are aware that energy exists, but how can we touch it? How can you get in contact with it? I'm going to tell you the story of Anna. Anna is a successful businesswoman. She's leading a prior public relation agency in South Africa. Strong woman, I was impressed by the success. She's just vibrating. Especially when she tells me about the notoriety, the prestigious customer in her field. Then I don't know if you sometimes have doubts when you meet such exceptional people. was wondering, what can I do for her, for such a successful lady? And then she tells me more. She tells me that she's divided, that she cannot sleep at night. She has a knot in her stomach, and a little voice that's coming to tell her, to speak to her about a gigantic project. A project at the size of the continent of Africa. On such a project, crazy, it's about energy sovereignty of Africa. Wow. Now I started to understand what I could do for her. When she passed a doubt period about how to incorporate the spiritual inside the business, then bang, in only 2 sessions, when we sipped at this little voice on what it had to tell her, we got it. Her strength, Anna, she's public relations, was her image. And she was going to use her image in public to serve Africa on the energy system. To seek. That's the first step of the soul model, letter S. Great, you have the idea. You know you're going to go for it. But as Anna, a managing director, as executives, your days are only 24 hours. How are you going to fit this new task, this new activity, and you have absolutely no clue how it's going to be received on the risk of a well-established business? Are you going to take the risk to change and to go to the unknown? That's what we do next. We're going to see what she has at her hands. We still forget about the numbers. It's still not the time. We're going to orient her actions with what she has at hands. For Anna, we know her image is her main asset. So she took one step back, same as me. And I often see leaders just take time, in silence, in the emptiness, to provide the space, room for innovation and decision making. And after a couple of days, yes, she had exactly the contacts where she could speak. She knew where she could speak on behalf of Africa on energy. And she could fit in her busy schedule who, in the managers of the agency, she could delegate things to. Same for you. Just step back and see quick wins, small steps to start orienting your actions in the direction you want to go. Orient is the letter O. Second step of the soul model. We start to see where it's going. On Asana, she could see that now was the time for such an ambitious project to gather other people. And at the first, she found very quickly the first conference where she could talk. And well, she was the master of ceremony of an energy event in Ghana. And that's exactly where she fit, at the right place, at the right moment. When she came back, she was just magnetic. And she told me about the feeling, the vibrations she had with the public. Just fantastic. I'm sure you all had it. When you feel you're at the right moment, at the right place. Remember those emotions. They talk to you. That's a signal from the business on the soul of the business. She started to unite with other people, because that's where she signed for 2 other conferences, one in Botswana and one in Benin. What else did you want as a validation for the orientation? And guess what? At the second conference in Ghana, in Benin. She's going all over the place now. It's a bit too much. Then she met an investor, someone who wanted to come with her. And, well, what a surprise, yes and no. That means she was at the right place and with the right person. You all had this feeling as well. You can call it love, you can call it trust, you can call it confidence, but you've had it in your personal life, on your business life, between a shareholder and an executive, between a manager and an employee, with your clients. Get it? Because that's how you unite with the stakeholders that are coming to build your mission with you and connect to the soul of your business. Unite is the U, is the third step of the soul model. Don't you think it's starting to shape up? Seek, orient, unite. Well, it's time to build. Yes, it's time to build. And now we're going back to the numbers. We first set them aside to better come back to them. Well, especially that we had now a file to build for the investor. And that was the right time. Because now, Anna was ready. She was ready to lead this new activity. She had embodied it into her entire body, her entire person. She was connected. And that gave power, strength to the numbers and the discussion she could have with her next shareholder. And what we see as investors, I told you, first we set aside the numbers, because numbers are the visible part of the iceberg. And first we focus on the invisible part of the iceberg, of the individuals, the executives that are going to manage the business. And that's because she was that strong beneath the surface, that the numbers were making sense. And as investors, we invest into roughly 5% of the files that we see, or maybe even less. So that means your numbers, you need to embody them. You need to lead the adventure. And that's with this posture, with this attitude, that she's going to lead the activity and lead the relations with her stakeholders. Lead is the L, the fourth step of the soul model. Have you ever experienced misalignment, discrepancies, blockage into your daily work? You know those moments when at the surface everything seems to be the same as always, but then you feel, you sense that something is going wrong. And your intuition was good, because remember the last times you felt that. Then you had a problem. Numbers came back that the market has changed, that your best salesperson was going to leave. So when you sense that, then that means it's the right time. It's the right time to partner with your business, with this living organism, and then touch, seek its soul. Soul, seek, orient, unite, lead. It sounds basic, almost too simple. But yet, have you looked around, you, your competitors, your partners, the market? How many companies, how many corporations seem to be unbalanced? Many, many, many. So yes, if you are ready now to experiment this special link, to partner with the soul of your business, and I'm very happy to partner with you and to do it together. And I'm also so excited that I offer you a 30 minutes audit just to go for it.